Morning, students. Today we are going to be doing lesson 2.3 in geometry, and we are going to be talking about squares of binomials and differences. So, difference of squares and the sum of squares. So, on page 45, you'll see the patterns, some patterns here. There's three different patterns to look out for. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do a series of examples, and I want you to try and understand this pattern as it comes from the examples that we do today. Okay. So what's binomial? Binomial is a two-term polynomial. So it's just a polynomial with two terms in it. All right. Now let's do one quick review. If you have x squared, that's x times x. If you have x plus n squared, you cannot just distribute it through. That is incorrect. Since the squared is attached to the parentheses, it means the whole parentheses, x plus n, is what's squared, the whole parentheses. And this is much different than x squared plus n squared. So if you get something like this, you have to write it all the way out. If you have x minus n squared, well, that's going to be x minus n times x minus n. So make sure if it's squared, you don't just distribute the square through. I'm going to show you how to do this squaring of binomials today. So we're going to start in straight away on your homework and do a series of these. Now, because this is the whole thing squared, what you need to do to get credit for your work today is you need to write out what this means. A plus 3 times a plus 3. So that's your first step. And now when you see that, you can use the step from yesterday's class from 2.2, whichever step works best for you. I was definitely an advocate of the boxcar troll method because I think it helped people keep organized. And we have our like terms, so a squared plus 6a plus 9. So that's the square of a binomial. And don't forget, we're going to be looking for the patterns. So here, our first step is to write it out so that we see. You can't just distribute this through. You have to write out c plus 4 times c plus 4. Okay? And then I'll go ahead and I'll put I'll try to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. So we have c squared, 4c, 16. So we have c squared plus 4c plus 4c plus 16. C squared plus 8c plus 16. So if you see in here, what we're getting is we're getting this squared, two of these, so 8c, and then that squared. So see if you can start to connect that pattern when you have c plus 4, when you have a number plus a number squared. See if you can start to see this pattern, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. See if you can see that. Okay. Now, subtraction. Okay, first step, let's write it out. Second step, we'll do our boxcar troll. So So I have this 3x minus 2 here, 3x and minus 2, and then I have 3x and minus 2 here. So I have 9x squared. 3 times 3 is 9, x times x is x squared. Negative 6x, negative 6x. Positive 4, I have a negative 2 times a negative 2, so that gives me a positive 4. 9x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 4. So 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. Okay. See if you see any patterns. All right, first step. I'm going to write it out. If you write it out, chances are you're not going to end up trying to distribute the 2 through. So write out the whole thing. And then boxcar trolls. Yeah, 3x here, 2y here, 3x here, 2y. So I have 9x squared, 6, and then x times y would be xy. So that'd be 6xy, and I get 4y squared. So don't forget to multiply every piece of it, right? There's a y, and an x, and a 2 and a 3. So I have 9x squared plus 6xy plus 6xy plus 4y squared. 9x squared plus 12xy plus 4y squared. All right, you getting kind of the feel for this? I don't know if you're able to connect it with the patterns, or if you're able to see the patterns yet, but if not, no big deal. If you know how to do it using the boxcar tools, you'll be fine. So we have negative 4c plus 5b times negative 4c plus 5d. So negative times negative is a positive, so I get 16c squared. Positive times negative is negative 20cd. I have the c and the d. Another negative 20cd. Then I have a 25d squared. So I have 16c squared minus 20cd minus 20cd plus 25d squared. My like term, so I have 16c squared minus 40cd plus 25d squared. Okay, kind of the same thing throughout. All right, now we no longer have a squared, right? These were all the exact same thing twice. And now what I have is I have a plus and a minus. Make sure you see this. For number 10, notice that there's a plus and a minus. So we're no longer squaring the exact same thing. So I'm going to put this back in our boxcar troll method. So I have q squared negative 5q positive 5q negative 25. Q squared minus 5q plus 5q minus 25. Hey, negative 5, positive 5, those cancel out. So I'm left with q squared minus 25. So when I have a number plus a number and a number minus that same number, I end up having this. And this is called the difference of squares. I have a square root minus a square root. That's the difference of squares. Q plus a number, q minus a number. I get q squared minus the number squared. All right, see if you can follow that pattern. Watch this. It will make these plus minus ones way easier if you can follow this pattern. So I have a pattern. I don't even need to do this, but I will just to show you what I get. So 1/4 B 1, 1/4 B 1. So I have 1/16 B squared, right? Because 1/4 times 1/4 is 1/16. 1/4 times 1 is 1/4 B. Oops, this is a negative 1. Excuse me, negative 1. Negative 1 times 1/4 B is a negative 1/4 B. Negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. So I get 1/16 B squared minus 1/4 B plus 1/4 B minus 1. Negative 1/4 B, positive 1/4 B. Well, look at this. Again, just happened again. I get two numbers that cancel out. So all I'm left with is 1/16 B squared minus 1. 1/16 B squared minus 1. Now, if I recognize this pattern where I have q plus a number, q minus a number, and I get q squared minus 25, look at this. Before I even do all of this, I can look at this and I can say this answer is going to be 1/16 B squared minus 1. 1/16 B squared minus 1. Oh, shoot. I just did an even one. Well, you know what? Why don't I take over the next fraction one for you just to show you how this pattern works. So if I look at this, I have a plus and I have a minus. So I know that my answer is going to be the first one squared. So it's going to be 1/4. I want to predict my answer. 1/4 C squared. And then it's going to be minus 1/9. That's what I think my answer is going to be based on this pattern right here that shows A plus B times A minus B equals A squared minus B squared. Oh, so that's how easy the pattern is? If I have A plus a number, A minus a number, all I have to do is do this squared minus this squared? Yes, that's exactly right. So I did this squared minus this squared. Ding, 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 ding. This squared minus this squared. Now let's show it. I'll show it to you done out long ways. Now, please keep in mind, especially you know who I'm talking to, who likes to take the shortcuts. Please keep in mind this is only for x plus b, x minus b. X plus b, x minus b. It's only for those. It does not work for a minus b squared, and it does not work for a plus b squared. This a squared minus b squared only works a plus b times a minus b. So 1/2 c 1/3, 1/2 c negative 1/3. 1/2 times 1/2, 1/4 c squared. Negative 1/3 times 1/2, so that's negative 1/6 c. 1/2 times 1/3, 1/6 c. Negative 1/3 times positive 1/3 is negative 1/9. So I now have 1/4 c squared minus 1/6 c plus 1/6 c minus 1/9. Look at that. Negative 1/6, positive 1/6, those cancel out. So I'm left with 1/4 c squared minus 1/9. Oh, look at that. It's what we predicted based on the pattern, and it worked out just like we said. So if you understand the pattern, there you go. So here we go. I'm going to understand the pattern. I'm going to look back here. A plus b times a minus b equals a squared minus b squared. So a squared minus b squared. So for this one, number 17, my answer is going to end up being 9j minus 4k squared. A squared minus b squared. Let's check it. negative 3j 2k. Oops, that's squared. Negative 3j plus 2k. So negative 9j squared, negative 6jk. It's positive. Negative and positive. Negative 6jk. Uh-oh. What happened here? Negative 4k squared. Negative times a positive. Oh, no. This is supposed to be a negative. So this is positive. Because a negative times negative is positive. So I got negative 3j and then negative 2k. So I have negative 9j squared minus 6jk plus 6jk minus 4k squared. Look at that. Those two cancel out. I get minus 9j squared minus 4k squared. There you go. So your homework is going to be numbers 1 through 18 plus this page of notes. And turn those in on Canvas. Ask me any questions through Zoom. Give me a call.